Hello and welcome to my video log. This video log mainly will cover an entry-level binary exploitation. So, I participated in a picoCTF challenge called Flag Leak, which involved exploiting a format string vulnerability in a provided binary executable. The main goal was to leak a flag stored in the program's memory. Preparation before the challenge. I enjoy diving into complicated subjects and struggling with them for hours or days to even deepen understanding. I practiced the Format Strings 3 challenge using basic Linux commands and file structures, focusing on learning the necessary jargon and tools while repetitively using Python code. During the challenge, the next day I attempted another Binary Exploitation CTF. This time using the guidance from YouTuber John Hammond. Following his approach of using the terminal, I practiced and adapted his methods, which helped me learn effectively. Creating the flag.txt with the content, "Dubs, you missed this last night." And we're going to go over this in the terminal. Helped me to understand how flags might be stored or formatted within the binary. By manually echoing this string into flag.txt and storing it into the same directory as our project, we simulated the presence of a flag in a similar format to the challenge. This step allowed me to verify our approach for extracting strings from the stack. When I later ran the local test.py script, so this is a Python script that was prompted by me, with basically I was inspired by John Hammond using his idea how to approach the CTF, came up with a Python script to figure this process out. So when I later ran the local test.py script, the process read the local environment, including any files and strings in memory, because the flag.txt file was in the same directory. The string, "Dubs, you missed this last night." Okay, it's just text that was echoed into a file called flag.txt, was likely loaded into the program's memory or stack, making it accessible during our format string exploitation. As a result, our script successfully identified and extracted the string from the stack, demonstrating that our method for locating and leaking the flag was valid. This process confirmed that our exploitation technique worked correctly, even if the exact mechanism of how the string got into the stack was due to our manual preparation. So a lot of what I've noticed on these CTFs, it's just to get you exposed to whatever it is you're learning. I have another video on here, Mind Your P's and Q's, that has to do with encryption. At first it's mind-boggling, but if you see it over and over again, our brains adapt. I mean, that's how we are built. So, demonstration, note. So this is just a note for me, because this is going to go into, this summary is going to go into another project that I have, and it's on my YouTube channel. I'll show the picture of it. I'm looking at it right now. It's basically a firewall, an unmanaged switch, a secure one, and a Raspberry Pi that's running Debian 12 Bookworm, and it's also running Pi-hole, and those are pretty much the two main things that it's running. Oh, it's also running a web server a web application that I put together. So we'll take a look at it real quick. So here's obviously our browser. I like it nice and plain. I don't like anything on it. Here's the Pi-hole link. We can go there. We could see all the total queries. We have 8 that were blocked. Excuse me. So let's get out of there. And here's the link to our web server if it's running. Let's see. Nope. So here's, while I have this up, here's a very good command. Let me clear the screen. CLEAR. Yes, I look at my terminal or my keyboard. I don't like text being automated in front of me. It really hurts the memory. So right now I'm in a virtual environment and I'm using PowerShell to SSH into this tiny little Raspberry Pi. Okay. And I'm also in a virtual environment. So back to the tree command. So I'm going to do a series. It's going to be like total beginner Linux, like total beginner Linux. I'm talking like over the wire challenges, just meaning that it's very like beginner. Okay. And it's nothing to be ashamed of at all. Trust me. This will help a lot. This command is called tree. What that does, it generates it generates the directory that we are in right now. The directory is called Cyber Lab Dashboard. So we can see the directory structure right now. So that is a very good command, really, because this helped me learn how helped me learn better how directories work. So we know that right now we're in Cyber Lab. Right now you can see the directories and what's inside the directory. The Python code, what it does, it's coded to put files that I upload into the proper place. So if I have a cybersecurity, anything that's related to cyber operations, or anything that's related to scripts, or anything that's related to vSphere, Windows Server, Cisco, CompTIA, the way that I programmed it is we'll do a scripts underscore. That means that it's going to put it into the scripts directory. If I were to do cyber operations, it would be cyber operations underscore and then the name of your file. And then when you upload it, it goes into the uploads directory, and then the Python code will move it to where it needs to go. So we'll go ahead and clear this out. So once again, let's do that right. It's clear. Nope. Just take your time. If you ever get frustrated, just take your time. Take a deep breath. Listen to lo-fi. And that's when you learn, when you're relaxed. So clear the screen. Let's go ahead and cat, which is read, the Python script. So we're going to cat, and the name of it is called server.py. We see what's going on here. So let me just open this up. So we can see we have functions down here. Let me just skip on down to the functions. So here are the functions that move the file. So for the music, when I was brainstorming and coming up with this idea to move music files, I just went with the name of the type of file it was, which is MP3 or WAV. And then I was like, okay, well, let's try something else. Our school is doing a naming convention where they use a file name underscore. So let me do something like that. So I went, these functions will move files based on this right here, scripts underscore, cyber operations underscore. And we also have a sanitization for directory traversal attempts, which is I will go ahead and hack this. It's my web app, so I can honestly do whatever I want with it. Let's see here. Yeah, so back to what we were doing. So when I upload the file, it's gonna put it where it needs to be. So the only thing that's going to be uploaded here is stuff that I don't want to forget. Like back to what we were talking about was the CTF challenge. that involves binary exploitation. So let me clear the screen. It's always good to use clear. Remember, I'm using PowerShell and I'm SSHing into the Raspberry Pi. Okay? And for me to open up this web application, I need to run the Python script. So to do that, we need a tool. What's the tool called? Well, the tool is called Python 3. Great, you have a tool. So what are we going to do with this tool? Well, that tool is needed to run server.py. Okay, great. So then we'll go ahead and hit enter. There. Now we're on a default port of port 8000, but that's no big deal. We could change that easily. That's easy. But for now, and it's also logging, and this is also great for cybersecurity students. You can have this running in the background and watch the GET request. I also have an RSS feed to Security Week, and there's also something very important that showed on the RSS feed. Microsoft Windows Hyper-V. Well, I'll show you. So anyway, so the web server is running. Great. So let's just minimize that. So this is a favicon that's kind of blurry. We're going to fix that, okay? But it's still there, all right? And that's the link to the web server. So I'll click it and pull it down, and once you know, Tux is not showing, but we'll refresh it. It's probably not loaded up in the cache. No worries. So when that happens, we'll just pull it back, and then we'll live troubleshoot. And here I can already tell you that it says get image tux.png, and it's trying to fetch the RSS feed. So what I would do is, as a prompt engineer, I would say, hey, why don't we create like a little pause in between? That's if that is the root cause of this issue. But let's go back in, because I'm going to demonstrate. There's Tux. Okay, so we'll pull it back. Pull it back. Here's our RSS feed. And zoom it. We'll pull it in. Latest cybersecurity news. Microsoft warns of Microsoft Hyper-V 0-day being exploited. So this will link to the Security Week website. So this is kind of stuff that, as a freshman or anybody that's studying cybersecurity, we need to be in the know. So this is just one of many ways to be in the know. This authentication challenge, this has to do with just something that I'm working on. It's there, it's not going anywhere. But back to the upload. So yeah, if I were to choose a file, it's going to upload the file, and it's going to sort based on the naming convention. So right now, if I were to open scripts, it's going to take a second. So while that is loading, there's one thing: the read-write speeds are a little bit slower because I'm using a micro SD card that's plugged in. I have a hat for the Raspberry Pi, and I also have the SD card that goes in there, and the hat, the NV. Was it not the NV RAM? I'll get back. I'll edit that. I have the SSD that goes in there, and we'll see if that works. But back to scripts. So yeah, it just puts what I need in this directory. So if I want to let's say if I want to practice some of these PowerShell script, like this stop process script, I can just grab that, copy it, boom, put it in there. These are just, it's basically my at-home GitHub, kind of, sort of. If I want to copy and paste scripts, you can't collaborate on it, so that's the only difference. But nonetheless, that's basically how it works. So I would close this, go back, we'll open up this, we'll pull this back, and that's what I have. So right now we don't see the feeds, but watch. That's why this is great, because we see, now you saw the feed just generate. So just having this in front of you, like every day, every morning, you're gonna learn, because you're seeing it every day. And you think about it, if you see it every day for a year, every morning, every night, and then you keep adding to it, you're only going to learn. So nonetheless, let's go back to what we're doing. The whole point of this, we're going to go into that binary exploitation and capture the flag challenge. So we'll just go ahead and get off the range and pull that down. Okay, so demonstration. No, that's for me. Okay, so it's basically just saying that this part is part of the automated exploration to find the correct stack position, while the fixed payload like %20 $S or is used for targeted extraction once the correct position is identified. John Hammond. So if you want to do this picoCTF challenge, just go to his page, or his YouTube page, and he goes through it quite fast, but it's one of many resources to get through some of these challenges. So first off, this sub L vuln.c, that is Sublime Text. So he opens it up in Sublime Text. This vuln.c, that is the C file. So let's just take a look at it. So we'll do a control click and open, and then we're going to pull this over here. So when you go to do your challenge, let me see if I can open up the challenge. We'll go to Kali. Boom. Let's see, we'll go here, and there's flag leak. All right, this is the challenge. It's called flag leak. So when I'll launch the instance just so we can see. When you launch your instance, you're going to get the link for the source code right here. So what you would do is you would go left click, and then you're going to copy the link. Okay, you want to copy the address because we're going to use wget in our terminal. We're just sticking to the terminal. So it's called flag leak. The level is medium, and it's binary exploitation. So if you want to go and do these CTFs, start with the harder stuff. Start with the harder stuff, let it challenge you, and then go with the easier stuff. It's only gonna help connect the dots later in life. Trust me, because I went down this road in 2014 messing around with microcontrollers and stuff, and didn't really get that far because we didn't have the technology like we do these days. So anyways, you would open up the source code, and you look at the source code. Great, there it is. Awesome. So if you're using Kali, you can open it up in Sublime Text or whatever text editor you like to use. So we see, please create flag.txt in the directory with your own debugging flag. So just note that. We're going to pull that down. Okay. So let's take a look at read flag function. So I'm going to do a control and click. Function body. So F open. The function attempts to open the file named flag.txt in read mode. Okay, so I know this for beginners this does not make sense, but this is how you learn to do it: is take really good notes, save it somewhere, and figure it out. You gotta get in there, get your hands dirty. All right, so let's just go ahead and get on out of there. All right, so why don't we go ahead and do this? We're gonna cat remote_test.py. So this particular piece of Python code basically prompted it just be like I would consider myself a prompt engineer. Absolutely. I don't see anybody else doing some of the code work that I'm doing. If not, maybe I'm missing. I don't know. But just when you're prompting, garbage in, garbage out. So write like you're writing a report. Use keywords like Microsoft, Excel if you're working with VBA, or don't just try to skim through it. I mean, you can skim through your prompts. You could skim through your prompts if you're just trying to get rapid information. But if you're trying to write code, then be professional. So let's cat remote test.py. Cat, remember, is read. So let's open up our Kali box. We're going to minimize this, okay? We'll go ahead and don't get distracted by that. He's just on a loop. So we're going to clear. And one of the first things we did was we created a directory called, it doesn't matter what you want to call it. I called my directory Binary Exploitation. And the name of the challenge is Flag Leak, okay? So remember tree? Well, let's use it, tree, boom. And this core right here, when you do the challenge, it's not going to be there, but when you do, after you do the challenge, you'll see core, and it's basically a bunch of binary. So we're gonna go ahead and cat. Let's bring up what we're gonna cat. We're gonna cat remote underscore test.py. We didn't use it, but it's there. Don't throw it away. Organize it, because you might need to play off of it, or you might need to use it for a prompt. So we're going to cat. So I got cat right now. I know I'm in the directory. Let's use a telesense and do like a tab. Boom. And it's just letting me know that, hey, if you hit tab, we can do core, flag, or we can do any of these. So I would look, okay, cat, what do I want to read? I want to read, we're going to do remote test. So if I just type an R and an E, you can see I already did it, but let's just put a space there. Cat RE, let's see if this works. All right, so creating the space will just actually let you jump around. So cat, and then we're gonna cat remote test.py, but see that RE right there? That would throw things off. So what we're gonna do is just gonna go back. We're gonna cat tab, and it's gonna be remote RE, tab it out, boom. So we're reading it, and it's just letting you know basically that we're using from Pwn tools. I think it's Pwn tools. We're going to import. So there's basically the script. It's there's your port. We didn't need to use this because you use netcat in the terminal, so there's no need to use this. So I didn't need to use it. So let's just clear out of there. Enter. Remember tree. These are all newbie tips, and I am very much a newbie, all right? So tree will just help you see what's in front of you. Present working directory is great. That lets you know the path, but I would recommend doing over the wire, particularly challenges 1 through 10, because that's what they had us do. And then we went in school, college, we went into some of the higher challenges. So let's go back to the script. So we did that. Now let's cat hex to ASCII.py. So during the challenge, I tried many things. A lot of things didn't work, and a lot of things are not going to work because ChatGPT, with these challenges, they are more like I wouldn't even call them a co-pilot. I would just say it's more of an aid. You're probably better off using Google. So let's cat hex to ASCII.py just to show what it is. So we'll do tree just to see where we're at, and we're gonna cat hex to ASCII. So we'll just do cat, and then we can just type HE and tab it out, enter. So with this block of code, I was trying various things, and this obviously didn't work. I'm not gonna launch it because I need to get through this video, but we'll clear that out. Let's stick to the script. So go back up. Okay. Local test Python code script demo on Kali. So local underscore test, Python 3 local test.py. Okay, and then Python 3 local test.py, and then we're going to use the pipe symbol, and we're going to grep dubs. So I didn't know. I figured this is something that I learned after I got the flag. But we'll say, let's just go ahead and show how the local test.py works. So we'll go ahead and remember, what's the tool? The tool is Python. 3. That's our tool. What are we going to do with the tool? We're going to use it on a script or a block of code called local test.py. I don't have to type it in all the way. I can just hit the right arrow, boom, and I'm not going to grep anything out of this. I just want to run it, boom. So when I ran that, okay, I was like, okay, wow, we have a lot of data here. Okay, awesome. When I was going through the challenge, I didn't know. I mean, it seems easy now. Here's one thing: every problem in life is always easy once it's been figured out. Really, once you figure it out and you tell somebody, somebody's going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's easy." Yeah, it's been figured out. No shit. Pardon my French, but it's like, yeah, it's been figured out. That's why it's easy. So you're bombarded with a lot of text. If we were to run that, let's go ahead and cat that, just so we can see what it's doing. So we're going to do clear. I just want to read out in the terminal, cat. It's called local. All right, and then we'll use right arrow, cat local test.py. Okay, boom. So here is the block of code. If you want to look at it, screenshot it, write it, copy it. I'm not putting any more stuff on GitHub, except if we're going to collaborate on something. I'm just not. So anyways, there's the payload, and let's see here. I had an explanation. See if I have the explanation. So we'll go down here. Let's stick to the script. Next, go to automation mode of reading while showing the code. So here I was just saying I was going to let the automation read out loud while I demonstrate the pipe, but I just did that. Yep, we got the RSS feed. Okay, and this has to do with the project. Okay, steps taken. So here we go. Understanding the challenge.